All this week on Veterans Stand Up, I'm talking with Elizabeth OBrien, CEO of Freedom Learning Group. The purpose of Veterans Stand Up is to talk to veteran community thought leaders about issues, resources, opportunities that help our veterans and their families expand their economic opportunities. Liz is particularly timely because she's a military spouse, and the business model at Freedom Learning Group is to hire military spouses. And Liz, part of what drew us together is every time I post on LinkedIn about veteran unemployment, I get a lot of comments about don't forget military spouses, that their unemployment is also very high. Could you give our folks who don't understand context and describe some of the challenges military spouses have?
Absolutely. And thank you so much for having me today. It's a real privilege. As CEO of Freedom Learning Group, I'm driven so intimately every day by my own story and by the hundreds of military spouses that I've come in contact with as a military spouse over the years. And I think no better place to start than sharing my own story with everybody that's joining us today. A lifetime ago, I had a great opportunity to pursue my original dream of being a college basketball coach. And I coached at Hofstra and West Point and University of Hawaii and Cal State Monterey Bay. And so what you can see is, as my husband started to move across the country for the Army, I was also navigating never-ending career transition. And what happened was I was taking a step back every time we moved. And so where I was on a rocket for becoming a head college basketball coach, by the time we were in Hawaii, I was all the way back down to a director of basketball operations. And that has a significant financial impact as well as on our family. And so slowly the conversation turned to maybe it's time to separate from the military. So there's real implications when military spouses can't go to work. We are a country that is dual income, and we need that second income just to remain level and competitive with the rest of the United States.
And one of the things I noticed is the veteran unemployment data comes out every month from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, but data about military spouse unemployment is episodic and somewhat infrequent. Is that?
Yeah, that's accurate, right? So it's not captured under Department of Labor and released by BLS. We're not a protected class, and so we don't fall into that category. There is great research out there that can be leveraged through some of our great nonprofit partners, but really dialing in and being able to capture that information through the Department of Labor doesn't currently exist. And so it becomes challenging to capture that real data every month. And so where do we fall, especially coming out of a pandemic?
Well, absolutely. And even though the data isn't as good or frequent as the government, it does indicate there is a big problem. The numbers say that military spouse unemployment is like 27%. So it is a big problem.
It's staggering. It's 4 and 5 times the civilian population. And we are more educated than the civilian population. And so when you put those pieces together, it doesn't add up. And so really, what is the root cause of military spouses having so many issues going to work? And it really comes down to those barriers of employment, not having a network every time we move and we relocate. And so what can we do as a country to make sure that our military spouses have an opportunity to go to work?